Welcome back. Now, October has been set aside as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Now, this is a global campaign observed to raise awareness about the importance of protecting oneself from cybersecurity threats. And with South Africa being ranked 6th among the world's most affected countries, consumers simply cannot afford to ignore the risks involved in transacting online. Jackie Smith, head of Buyers Trust, explains in her recent article why the real estate industry is particularly vulnerable to online attacks, and shares the safety checklist that buyers should follow when putting down a deposit. She joins us on Zoom to unpack this for us. Jackie, a very good morning to you. A warm welcome to Morning Live. I mean, let's start with what phishing is and its threats on the real estate industry.
Thanks for having me, Lebo. Yeah. Phishing is when cyber criminals use your internet pattern to try and scam you out of your data, your credit details and everything. And the way in which they communicate to you or with you looks like it's absolutely legit and you're talking to the intended person.
Why do you think there's so much threat coming from phishing, and why it's, I don't want to say successful, and why do they win so much?
Listen, cyber criminals are becoming quite industrious, and they are, as the internet change and as people's behavior change on the on the internet, they have become so much more intelligent around people's behavior and how they are, in terms of their software and the stuff that they use to try and con you out of your details. So what's happening at the moment is you find that specifically in the real estate industry, where there's huge amount of money transactions happening between a buyer and a seller and an attorney, and that they don't necessarily have the proper malware and cyber protection in place, that they've become a target for criminals.
Take us through the steps that home buyers should take, to protect themselves when paying a deposit online.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, be very, very vigilant about who you're talking to. Make sure that you are not necessarily using an open network in a coffee shop. Make sure that the Wi-Fi connection that you're using is trustworthy. So we know that when you buy a property, you ultimately have to pay about 10 to 20% deposit, and that's a large sum of money. So for some people, if you get scammed or if your money is stolen, that's your life savings gone. So what we normally say to home buyers is that when you buy a property, make 100% sure that the process that you're using to pay that money over is done in a very secure and encrypted way that nobody can actually intersect your money.
What are some of the horror stories that you've heard, in your line of business?
Lebo, that it's very interesting because we have a personal story as well where someone lost 1.2 million of their property purchase, and they have had, and in fact, quite millennials who was dealing on the internet every single day, working with people. It wasn't even an elderly person, and they were asked by the attorney firm to transfer the money into their trust account. And they followed the right procedure. They paid the money into, as per the account details. And 2 days later, they got a phone call to say, where's the money? And they said, no, but we will send you proof of payment. And it turns out that the money wasn't in the attorney's trust account, and it was actually paid into some fraudster's account. And normally if you look at it, about 8 out of 10 people would lose their money. It would probably be the 2 that is savvy enough to know, listen, something's gone wrong here, and they will contact their bank quickly to understand, well, what is it that we need to do? But your money's gone. The scammers are gone with your money.
And, with that said, what are some of the key things that a home buyer must confirm, with the agent before making any kind of deposit?
Yeah, check with the agent that the attorney that they are using is legitimate, and that the way in which they are communicating with the agent is also legitimate. Listen, we know, and I've said this earlier, that estate agents, albeit that they are trying their utmost and their very best to try and protect their communication platforms, that's not their core business. So when people are engaging, or home buyers are engaging with an estate agent, ask, how safe is my money? Will my money be kept in my name and not that of an attorney? What sort of protection have they got for me? What visibility have I got of my money? You know, how encrypted is it? So when you're dealing with an estate agent, make sure that you test those things. Make sure that this life savings of yours will be kept in a very, very secure place. And that you can see your money. You can see when your money has been paid in, when your money is earning interest, all of the things that will make you feel safe and make this home buying journey for you an absolute pleasurable experience.
Jackie, what other advice do you share in your checklist, in your article, for first-time home buyers?
Be vigilant. You know, don't just engage with anybody. Make sure that you are very, very, you've got strong password protection. Make sure that you validate the account numbers that you're paying money into. Make sure that your devices has got the latest software update, the malware. Yeah, and don't just read the email addresses. Make sure that you are able to see where your money is going. And ultimately, you know what, if you're making a big deposit, make R100 deposit first. And then tomorrow, transfer the balance if they've confirmed that they can see your R100. So be vigilant about the steps that you take to deposit large sums of money online. I mean, this interview is done online. You know, our whole life because of COVID was changed. So we have to become a little bit more, I said, vigilant to, you know, to the way in which we engage with the internet. 97 South Africans on average per hour scammed out of money.
Now, the other thing that you also say is that both real estate professionals and home buyers follow, you know, cybersecurity based practices, but the possibility of human error is also unavoidable. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. You know, we're all human, right? And listen, these cyber criminals are becoming exceptionally intelligent in terms of monitoring people's behavior and how they engage, or they understand your language. So I think that you know, you have to be careful. You need to understand that when you are engaging with people in terms of large sums of money, be vigilant. Choose a product or choose a process to pay your money where you have got visibility of your money. That's as simple as it is. People just need to make sure that who they're engaging with are the right people.
All right. Jackie Smith, thank you so much for all that advice. We hope people take it. Thank you so much for talking to us, Head of Buyers Trust. And we've been chatting about how we can protect ourselves from